seat for you, whatever that might mean. Sitting crisscross, maybe your legs are in a V, or maybe sitting on your knees. Take a couple minutes to really sink in, feel your sits bones on the mat. Then you'll grow your spine nice and tall, your neck grows tall, shoulders roll back. And then just tune in, breathe your natural breath. We're not changing anything about your breath just yet. Just notice where it enters, the pace at which it flows, and see if you can follow it. As you breathe in, travel with your breath. Feel it go down your throat. And then see if you can feel it enter your lungs. And notice if the pace of your exhale is maybe a little slower or a little faster than your inhale. Let's take 2 more breaths here, your natural breath. Good, and now we're going to do an extended exhale breath. So you breathe in for about 4 seconds, and then pause for 4 seconds, and exhale out for 8 seconds if you can. Now, if that's a lot for you, you can start with 3 and 6. So inhale, count 1, 2, 3, 4. Pause 2, 3, 4, and then exhale 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Again, make adjustments as needed. If you need a little more air or a little less, breathing in for 4. Pause for 4, and then exhale out for 8. And inhale, 2, 3, 4, pause, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're going to do 2 more like this. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Pause, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. One more. Inhale, 4 seconds. Pause for 4. And then exhale out for 8. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Good. Firm your seat down one more time and grow your spine nice and tall. And we'll do one more breath exercise. This one is called a flow breath or water breath, 4, 4, 4, 4. So very similar to the one we just did. You breathe in for 4 seconds, pause for 4 seconds, out for 4 seconds, and pause for 4 seconds. So you'll inhale, 2, 3, 4, pause, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, pause, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, pause, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, pause, 2, 3, 4. Do a few breaths like this on your own. Again, if you need to make adjustments to the timing, you can. Just make sure they're all equal. We'll do 2 more like this. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, pause. And exhale for 4, 3, 2, 1, pause. 2, 3, 4. Inhale and pause. And exhale and pause. Good. Now you'll take your chin down towards your chest and just feel the stretch in the back of your neck for a moment. Maybe if it feels good, you can let your hands just gently rest atop your head so they're not pressing, they're just the weight of your hands is gently adding to the stretch. But again, we're not pushing your head down. Good, and then hands come back down. And now you're gonna take your neck in some full circles, all the way around, nice and slow. And 2 more circles this way, and then you'll reverse your direction. And opposite way now. And 1 more circle this way, and then you'll come back to center. Nice. And now you'll take some spinal circles. So inhale on your way forward and exhale, round it back. Soupy grinds. And 2 more in this direction. And then you'll reverse directions. And 2 more. Then you'll find center. Good. Back to center. Then you're going to bring yourself to a child's pose. So hands go out on the mat. Make your way so your glutes are on top of your heels, hands out and forward, forehead on the mat. We're as close as able. And just breathe some long, deep breaths. Really sinking into your child's pose. Option to have narrow knees or wide knees, whichever feels best for you. Two more breaths. Good. Now you're going to take your hands and walk both hands over to your right hand side and send your hips over to the left. Get a nice side body stretch here. And if you can, see if you can place your left hand on top of your right hand. That will just add a slightly more intense stretch. If that does not feel good, come right back, hands separate. And one more breath. Now you're going to pass through center to the other side. Hands go left, hips go right. Feel the side stretch, and then if you can, see if you can bring your right hand on top of your left, just to add a little more to that stretch. And two more breaths. And then you bring your hands back to center. And now you're going to take your right hand and thread it underneath your left. Allow your right ear to rest on the mat, and your left hand stays up. Two more breaths, and I'll give you the option to make this a little more intense, or you can just stay here. So the option to bring a little more stretch would be to take your left hand right underneath your shoulder, and it's in front of your right. Then you're going to press firmly into your left hand and gaze up towards the ceiling. Now you should feel this stretch right in between your shoulder blades. This is a really tough area to reach. So if it's not feeling good, again, just leave your arm out straight. Two more breaths. And then bring your left hand back to center. Right arm goes back to center. And then you'll thread left arm underneath the right. Left ear or cheek rests on the mat. A couple breaths to really sink in and feel the stretch. Feel the twist. Two more breaths, and I'll give you that option to intensify again. So if it felt good on the other side, go ahead and take your right hand right underneath right shoulder in front of left and press into the mat as you look up towards the ceiling. One more breath here. And you'll return to center. And now you're going to keep your arms in your child's pose shape as you lift your hips and send your chest forward. So your head is still reaching towards the mat for a puppy dog pose. Kind of in between puppy dog and melting heart here. We can turn this way. And we'll do two more breaths. Nice, and then you walk your hands up to tabletop position. Wrists directly under shoulders, knees directly under hips. And then you'll bring in some cow-cat, so you're going to drop your belly and lift your chin. Inhale, and then exhale, round your spine. And inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. And move at a pace now that's comfortable for you. I tend to appreciate nice slow movements. Some people's bodies need quicker movements, so feel free, move with your breath. Make this yours. And two more of each. Final time. And then return to your neutral spine. And now from here, you're going to take your right leg long, hip height, and your left arm goes out. Draw a nice long line of energy from fingertip to toe tip. Every muscle in between is working. Arms, quads, calves, abs, everything's engaged. And then back to tabletop. Good. And then the left side, left leg out first, and then right arm. Feel that line of energy running all the way from fingertip to toe tip. 2 more breaths. And then come back to tabletop. Good. We'll do one set of this, a little less holding. So right leg goes back, left arm out. And hold for a moment. And then return to tabletop. Left leg out, right arm out, almost immediately. One more breath. And then come back to tabletop position. Now we're going to switch it up just a little bit. So you're going to take your right leg long behind you, hip height. And now I want you to go ahead and rise up onto your right side fingertips. So you're just up on the right side fingertips. Good, like this. And once this feels really strong and confident, if you make it there, then you can lift your right arm too. Now it's a challenge just to have your fingertips on there. So appreciate where you are, but find your challenge. And one more breath. And then tabletop position. Good. Now your left leg goes long behind you first. Really tighten in the core. Feel those muscles working. And then prop yourself up onto your left side fingertips. And again, we can stay here, or you can reach your left hand out if that feels doable for you today. As you can see, this is one that's very challenging. One more breath. And then tabletop position. Now you're going to tuck your toes underneath and lift your hips, downward facing dog, and pedal your dog. And then you'll find a little stillness in your dog. And then you walk your feet towards your hands for a forward fold. And then you'll inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Now inhale, round your spine up to mountain, arms up. And palms meet. Good, and you're going to tick-tock your body. So side to side, we'll go 10 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, final one, 10. Good, come back to standing. And then your hands are going to go to your lower spine for a supported back bend. So as if they're in jean pockets. If you prefer fists, you can use fist as well. So then you're going to inhale really firm into your feet. Open up your chest. And then on your exhale, you'll gently lean back. Making it a very soft back bend to start. And now you'll come to mountain pose. And inhale, arms overhead. Palms meet. And this time, interlace your fingers except the index finger points up. Good. Now you'll inhale, reach up. And exhale, side bend to the left. Inhale to lengthen in your spine. Exhale, see if you can side bend just a little bit more. Forearms are right by your ears. Your neck is visible. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, fold or bend. And then inhale up to center. And then exhale, right side now. Again, your neck is visible. Your arms are nice and tight to your ears. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to side bend. And one more breath. Then inhale to center. And exhale, hands to your lower back. Second supported back bend. Inhale, firm your feet, open your chest, and then exhale and lean back. Maybe just a little bit deeper than last time. Still being gentle for yourself. 2 more breaths. And then you'll come back to standing. Inhale, arms overhead, palms meet. Interlace your fingers. Now this time do the awkward lace. So whichever finger was in front last time, do the opposite finger in front this time. Then you're going to inhale, reach both arms up. And on your exhale, you'll side bend to the left. And inhale to lengthen. Exhale, side bend. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, bend. And then inhale back to center. And exhale, right side. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, bend. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, bend. 2 more breaths like this. And now your next inhale brings you to center. And exhale, hands go to your low back for our final supported back bend. Firm your feet, open chest. And exhale, lean back. Back to your deepest expression for today. And if you're well versed, you can take your hands below your seat to the creases of your knees, only if that's available to you. 2 more breaths. And then you'll come back up to mountain pose. Good. And you'll inhale, arms overhead. And then exhale, chair, and hands can be straight up in the air, or they can come to heart center. Up to you. Breathe in your chair. Hips are sent back so that your knees are not crossing over your toes. 1 more breath. And now inhale. And then on your exhale, fold. Now in your fold, you're going to grab for opposite elbows and sway side to side. Oops. Good, and then you'll come back to center. And your hands are going to go to the mat, if that's available. If not, they can rest maybe on your shins. But what we're going to do is just bend your right knee generously and mount your left heel to the mat. Just feel a nice stretch in the back of the hamstring, the back of the calf. Two more breaths. And then you'll lower your right heel down and lift your left heel, bend your knee, and the right leg goes straight. And it's always okay to have that micro bend in your knee if it doesn't feel good to be completely straight. Two more breaths. Now you lower your left heel down and bend your knees generously. You're going to slowly roll all the way up, arms overhead. Then you'll exhale and sit back in your chair. Inhale and chair. And you'll exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. And then exhale and send your right foot back for a warrior one. So your back foot's at a 45-degree angle, both hips to the front of the room, in your lunge shape, and arms go up. Breathe in. Now, as you get more advanced in this pose, you'll want to focus on making the weight go into the outer edge of your back foot. So really press the weight into the outer knife side edge of your back foot and feel the difference. See how that feels today. If it doesn't feel good today, that's okay. We'll slowly work our way there. 2 more breaths. And now you're going to pivot your back foot till it's parallel to the short edge of your mat and open your arms, open your hips. Turn this way so you guys can see. Good. You gaze over your left middle finger. Warrior 2. Now in your warrior 2, you really want to tighten up your abdomen. You don't want to be puffed out in the chest and bum. We want to be nice and neutral. Inhale. And then flip your left palm up to the ceiling, and you're going to reach forward in order to reach back, reverse warrior. Hand can go back behind here, your back for a half bind, or it can just gently rest on the back of your leg. And one more breath. Now return to warrior 2. And then you're going to straighten your left knee, reach forward, and tip for triangle. One more breath. Return to warrior 2. And now you bring in a side angle pose. Your left forearm goes to your left thigh, right arm up and over to frame your ear. This is another one where if you've gotten advanced, you can take this left hand to the front of or the inside of your front leg, or to the outside of your front leg, if that feels good. Good. Now, you're going to come back up to your warrior 2. And you're going to pivot your left toes towards the front of the room. Now bring your hands behind your back, interlace your fingers, and you're going to fold forward. Bring in that shoulder rinse if you like that. Otherwise, your hands can stay resting on your hips. And with every breath, just lengthen your spine a little bit more. Two more breaths. And then your hands go to your low back and you'll slowly rise. And now you pivot your right toes till they're pointing forward to the front of the room and bring yourself into your warrior 1 on this side. So your back foot's at that 45-degree angle. Arms go up. Breathe in. If you're to the point where you need a little more challenge in this pose, remember to put the weight into the outer knife edge side of your back foot. You should feel some muscles kick in right on the outer side of your thigh as you do that. One more breath in. And then exhale, warrior 2. Pivot your back foot. Good, gaze over your front middle finger and breathe. And then just do that core check, so really firm into your core. Reaching arms for opposite walls, trying to keep them parallel to your shoulders. And one more breath. And then you're going to flip your right palm, reach forward to reach back, reverse warrior. Again, hand can go back for a half bind or to the leg, as long as there's very little weight in that hand. And back to warrior two. And then you'll straighten your front knee, and you're going to reach forward, tip for triangle. One more breath here. Now warrior two. And then side angle pose, so your right forearm to your right thigh, left arm up and over. And again, you can stay here, or you can take that hand to the inside or the outside of your foot if either of those are feeling good for you today. And one more breath. Now warrior two. And then you're going to pivot your right toes towards the front of the room. Your hands go clasped behind your back, and a second set, wide leg forward fold. Slowly hinge at your hips, fold forward. And again, hands can be at the waist or they can fall away for shoulder rinse. Just breathe in and grow your spine. One more breath. Now your hands go to your lower back and you'll slowly rise. And then you toe heel your feet together. Good, arms can release. And just stand a moment in your mountain pose, catch your breath. One more breath. And then you'll inhale, arms up. And exhale, chair. Again, your hands can stay up or they can come to heart center, your choice. As long as your hips are back and knees are not crossing over toes. And one more breath. Then you'll fold forward. Exhale in your fold. And then inhale, halfway lift. And now you'll send your left foot back for a warrior one. A little faster this time. Make sure you get to that warrior one that is challenging for you. One more breath. And then pivot your back foot parallel to the short edge. Warrior two, make sure you tighten in that core, allowing your spine to be one long line. We don't want this shape here. We want nice tucked in. Good. Last breath. Then you'll flip your right palm up to the ceiling, reach forward to reach back, reverse. Last breath. And warrior two. Now straighten your front knee, reach forward and tip for triangle. One more breath. Return to warrior two. And then side angle pose, your right forearm to thigh, left arm up and over to frame your ear. And again, that front hand can go on either side if that feels good. One more breath. And then warrior two. And now you're going to pivot your right toes. Actually, we want them both to be pointed outwards, about 45-degree angles outwards for goddess pose. So once you find your footing, bring your arms into a cactus shape, and then you're going to bend your knees and sink into goddess. Breathe. Feel your legs working. Tighten your core. Final breath. Now you're going to slowly straighten your knees, and you'll point your left toes now towards the front of the room, and your right foot is going to go into your warrior one shape. So the 45-degree angle, hips to the front of the room, and then arms up when you're ready. And again, weight in the outside of your back foot to make this just a little more challenging. Last breath. Then warrior two, open up, pivot your back foot. Good. Tighten that core. One more breath. And then left palm to ceiling, reverse warrior, reach forward to reach back. One more breath. And then warrior two. And triangle pose, straighten your front knee, reach forward, then tip. And one more breath. Back to warrior two. And then side angle pose, left forearm to your thigh, right arm up and over. Now I had a teacher once explain this pose that it should be pinky toe to pinky finger are in a nice long straight line. So I really, really liked that, and it helps me find that form, one long line. Now return to warrior two. And you're going to pivot both toes till they're at a 45-degree angle outwards again. Arms into a cactus shape. And then sink down, sit into your goddess pose. Nice firm core. One breath. And now you're going to alternate lifting your heels if that's available to you. Just back and forth. And one more time, each foot. Good. Then you're going to slowly straighten your knees, arms to your sides, and toe heel your feet together. Good. Then inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, fold. Now bend your knees generously. And you're going to inhale, rise to mountain, arms overhead. And you'll step your feet to about hip distance. Reach up, inhale. And then exhale, send your seat back, chair pose. We're gonna hold it just a little longer. That's why we have the hip wide feet. If you can, float your toes up off the mat. And hands can always come to heart center again. See if you can sit back just a little bit more. One more breath. Then straighten your knees, arms by your sides, and take a couple breaths in mountain. One more breath. Good. Now you'll inhale, arms go overhead. And you're gonna rise onto your balls of your feet. And then slowly lower down an imaginary wall. In hands, you have lots of options. They can stay up straight. They can shoot straight out from your shoulders or heart center, whatever is available to you. You're gonna get as low as you can, just lowering down that imaginary wall behind you. Good. Once you get down as low as you can you lift your right heel higher? Can you lift your left heel higher? Good. And then if your knees are feeling okay, let's try 3 bounces. 2, 3. Good. Then you're going to inhale, rise. And exhale, release your heels, release your arms. Take a couple breaths in mountain pose. Then inhale, arms go up. Exhale, chair. Inhale. Exhale, fold. Now inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, plant your hands, walk your feet back to your plank. Inhale in your plank. You can always be on your knees if you need to. Then lower down, low push-up or chaturanga. Or all the way down. Inhale for cobra. Exhale, lower your chest, tuck your toes, lift your hips, downward facing dog. And pedal your dog a little. Good. Now find some stillness, and then I want you to bend your right knee generously and lift your heel. Plant your left heel all the way down if you can. One more breath. Now lower your right heel down and bend your left knee generously. Feel the stretch in the back of your right leg. Two more breaths. And then you'll lower your left heel towards the mat. Walk your feet towards your hands in a forward fold. And if you need to bend your knees, they can be bent. We're going to wrap your arms around the backs of your knees and reach for opposite elbows. Again, if you need to keep your knees bent, that's fine here. We want that nice long spine, and we want your chest touching your thighs. And then take some nice deep breaths. Inhale to lengthen your spine. And now, if you'd like, you can begin to just straighten your knees ever so slightly. And as soon as you feel that spot of discomfort or soreness, where you know you're starting to grow, then go ahead and stop right there. You don't want to feel any pinching or pain, but soreness and discomfort can be a sign of growth. 2 more breaths. Then you'll release your grips and slowly roll all the way up to standing. And now inhale, arms overhead. And exhale, chair. Inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And then exhale, send your right foot back to a low crescent lunge. Good. And then you're going to inhale, open your chest, send your hips forward. And on your exhale, you're going to send your hips back till they're in line with your right foot. And then you might need to make adjustments with your left as you straighten your knee for a half split. And then you'll return to your low crescent lunge. And then bring both hands to the inside of your left foot for a lizard. Now you can stay right here, or you have the option to lower down onto one or both forearms if that's available. If not, it's perfectly fine to just stay up on your hands, still getting a very intense stretch. Another way you can advance this pose is by tucking your toes and lifting your back knee. But again, if that is not feeling good, we don't want you to go there just yet. And one more breath. Now you'll plant your hands on the mat. Curl your back toes under, lift your knee, and send your left foot back, downward facing dog, pedal your dog. Good, and you'll find some stillness and walk your feet towards your hands, forward fold. And then you inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. And inhale, rise, arms up. Exhale, chair. Then inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, left foot goes back, low crescent lunge. Send your hips forward. Feel the stretch there. And then your next exhale, you'll send your hips back in line with your left hip. And then straighten your front knee, flex your toes, half split. One more breath. And then low crescent lunge. And you're going to bring both hands to the inside of your right foot. And if it feels good, you can lower on to one or both forearms. Maybe you lift your back knee. Whatever feels best for you today. And 2 more breaths now. Now you're going to plant your hands on the mat. Bring them to frame your right foot. Curl your back toes under. This time you're going to send your right foot back to a plank. Good. Inhale in your plank. Again, it can be on the knees or the toes. And then exhale, lower all the way down. Try to see if you can get chin first, then chest, then hips. Good. You're going to rest right cheek on the mat, arms by your sides, palms face up. And take a few breaths. One more breath. Now you're going to bring your hands to the lowest point of your rib cage, and hands and elbows are squeezing nice and firmly together. Then you're going to zip your legs up nice and tight together, and you'll inhale, and on your exhale, lift your chest and your head for Cobra. If it feels good here, you can begin to lift your legs for Locust. 2 more breaths. There's very little weight in your hands. You could lift them if you needed to. And then slowly lower all the way down. Left cheek rests on the mat, palms by your side, face up. Two more breaths. Now your chin goes to center, your legs are nice and tight, and this time arms out into airplane wings. So you're gonna inhale, and on your exhale, lift arms, chest, and legs. Big inhale, and exhale, lift. See if you can peel one more rib than last time. Two more breaths. And then slowly lower down. Right cheek rests on the mat. Palms by your side, face up. Two more breaths. Then you're going to bring your hands by your sides, palms face down, hugging in tightly. And your chin goes to the center of your mat. This time you're only going to lift your legs. So press firmly into the mat with your hands. And then a big inhale, and you'll lift only your right leg. So nice big inhale. Exhale, lift the right leg. Nice and long. And one more breath. Now you'll lower your right leg to the mat. Take a big breath in. And on your exhale, lift your left leg. Your leg is nice and long and strong. One more breath. And then lower your left leg down and left cheek rests on the mat. Palms turn face up by your sides. And one more breath. Now you bring your hands right underneath your shoulders, and you're going to press yourself through to a narrow knee child's pose. So we like the narrow knees this time to really stretch and feel in that lower back. So every time you inhale, feel your low back expand. And 2 more breaths here. And now you'll walk your hands up towards your body. And once you make it all the way up, you're gonna sit down with your legs straight out ahead of you. And you'll make your way to feet planted, knees bent. We're gonna work on a boat pose, so you can bring your hands behind your hamstrings to begin. Then inhale, lengthen in your spine. And then you're gonna exhale, lean back just until you feel your abdomen turn on. Once those muscles turn on, see if you can lift your legs. If that's not available, that's okay, just set them right back down. Two more breaths. And if you wanted a little more, you could bring arms out or straighten legs. One more breath. And then your feet go planted, sitting up nice and tall. And breathe a couple breaths. One more breath here. Now make sure your spine is nice and long once again, and you're going to reach your arms out ahead of you, and then slowly lower your body all the way down, and just keep your feet planted, knees bent. Once you get all the way down, you're going to bring your arms into a cactus shape, and your heels go a little closer to your body. For a supine twist, you're going to lower both knees over to the left and gaze right. If you have neck trouble, you can always look straight up to the ceiling. And two more breaths in this pose. Now your head and your knees go back to center, and then you're going to allow knees to fall right, head goes left. Both shoulder blades stay in contact with the mat. And two more breaths. Very nice. Then your head and your knees both go back to center. Lift and lower your hips to get yourself re-centered on your mat. Then you're going to send your legs straight up, legs up the wall. If you're close to a wall, you can feel free to scoot up against it and allow the weight of your legs to be supported. And two more breaths. Now bring your knees into your chest. You're going to hug your knees and rock side to side. Nice little low back massage. And then you'll come back to center. And now you place your hands gently on your knees. You're going to take some knee circles, about 5 times in each direction. Still feeling a little bit of a massage, but maybe getting more coverage of your back. One more circle this way, and then you reverse. And 2 more circles in this direction. Good. Then you bring knees into chest. Pick your head up. Squeeze toes, legs, feet, hands, face is furrowed. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze every muscle in your body. And on your next exhale, you're going to release long and wide to your final Shavasana. If you need any props, feel free to grab those. Maybe a pillow or a blanket. Maybe some eye coverage. Just anything you feel you might need. Make your way to a comfortable Shavasana for you. And then you're going to close your eyes. You'll breathe your natural breath. And allow any thoughts that come into your mind to just gently wash away. You're not giving them attention or thought. You're just allowing them to pass you by. And now I want you to imagine you're walking through a park. And this park is filled with nature all around you. There's trees and bushes, lush green grass, and there's trails that lead in many different paths. It's a beautiful, warm spring day. And as you're walking along the park, you feel yourself ground with the earth. You feel connected to those trees, bushes, and dirt paths. The wind blows on your skin and you feel the warm air pass through your hair. You breathe in and you smell the fresh scent of that new spring grass. You open your mouth and you taste the warm dew of the air around you. Now, as you're walking along this path, you come across a body of water. It's clear, crystal blue water, and there's a dock inviting you to come and sit down. You slowly walk to the edge of the dock and sit down with your feet dangling above the water. You breathe in and you begin to notice the sounds around you. You hear the birds and the trees. You hear the squirrels and the rabbits rustling in the bushes. You hear the water gently laving as ducks swim across. You feel safe and secure. You begin to playfully swing your legs back and forth above the water, and you notice your reflection. As you look at your reflection in the water, you see peace and beauty, light and love. You're proud of who you are and where you've come from. You gaze at your reflection and appreciate yourself. And now you begin to wiggle your fingers and your toes. You rock your head from side to side. And then whenever you're ready, you'll roll onto whichever side feels most open to you. Take a moment to be proud of yourself for any adjustments you made, whether they were modifying to make things more subtle or modifying to make things more advanced. They're equally important to do both. Be proud of you listening to your body. And then softly press yourself to a comfortable seat with eyes closed as able. Then you're going to inhale, arms overhead, palms meet. And then reverse your palms face out, and with intention, press the air around you away. Know that you're pressing out stress and anxiety, making room for positive vibrations. And then your hands come to heart center. Thank you for joining me today and allowing me to be your guide. I honor and appreciate the light inside of you. Namaste.